Hey, yo, it's Narf here, and we're talking about the next fight for every fighter that I found interesting on UFC Mexico. So let's talk about it. Up first, Felipe Dos Santos. He didn't have the best performance he could have had, all things considered after the performance he had against Manel Cop. I think he needs a little bit of a humbling and a harder matchup for sure, but it's going to be against Victor Altamirano. I think if Victor just came off a loss, so I think this is a good matchup. Um, yeah, I think this is going to be a good scrap too. Um, yeah, I'm excited about that one for sure, for sure. Um, I think that Felipe would probably take this one. It would be a close fight though. It would be a very close fight. Um, Up next, I have Manuel Torres versus who did I even pick? That's right, Michael Johnson. Come on. Michael Johnson, chinny as anyone. We put him up against an up and coming prospect that's been finishing everyone in the first round. Michael Johnson will give this kid hype. Um, he's coming off a win against Darius Flowers, so I think this is a good matchup for him. It brings him up the rankings fast enough because Manuel Torres looks legit. Like he's finishing everyone. So I'm excited for that. Up next, Francisco Prado versus. That's right. That is right. Freziam. Freziam won early in the night in a controversial fight. Prado lost. I kind of want to see Freziam get knocked out cold, and that's why I made this. I think they actually fit pretty well in the rankings. Um, they both look mediocre. Prado's older. He could knock him out. Little Drew Dober. I was thinking about Drew Dober, but just too far up the rankings for Prado, who lost. Couldn't make it make sense. Up next is Daniel Zellhuber versus Jared Gordon. Come on. Zellhuber is sick. He may be a weight bully. He may be 6'3", 155 pounds. That's kind of crazy. Um, but I think this would be a sick fight. Um, Dude is slick. Zellhuber. He was tagging up Francisco Prado all night. Great fight. I think that these are some of the most exciting fights you can make. Let's go on the main two fights of the evening. Wow. Okay. Up first, Yair. I love him. His striking is insane. I overestimated it. Well, I wouldn't say I overestimated it, but I underestimated how bad he was going to be at stopping takedowns. He's like a frail man. I think if you gave me 25 minutes, I could take him down if I tried. Just kidding. That's crazy. He'd beat the shit out of me. But I think that a good matchup for him is against Arnold Allen. Uh, I think they're both coming off losses, and honestly, there's not any up and coming prospects really right now in featherweight. It's a tough division, really. Uh, except for Ivorlev, who I have fighting Brian Ortega. I'll just spoil that. Um, I I think that Arnold Allen versus Yair fight would be really interesting. Arnold Allen, tough as they get. I think that would be a crazy, crazy fight. I would be super interested in that. But then Brian Ortega versus Mavzar, I think that's an interesting fight, just in the fact that Brian Ortega is one of the slickest submit. He's so dangerous on the ground. Ivorlev, his stand up is just yeah, your stand up is so we're gonna get some crazy scrambles. We're gonna get a heck of a fight, and I would just be all around excited for it. On to the main event of the evening, or whatever you say here. So Brandon Moreno, very disappointing performance from Brandon. Um, I never have seen him perform like this. I'll be honest and say, like, during the Figueiredo fights, I never picked Brandon Moreno to win any of those, any of them. So it it's interesting that I was taking him here. Um, I thought that he was going to just hit so much harder, and that was true, but I didn't ever think that I would see Brandon Moreno become an overhand merchant. You couldn't have convinced me of that. That's crazy to me. But I'm excited for this. It's Brandon Moreno versus Amir Albazi. It's already been booked once and canceled. I think it just makes sense. I don't know what Amir's dealing with, but whatever he's dealing with, they can figure that out and then schedule this fight. I think Brandon Moreno needs a little time off. He just didn't look the same. Maybe he was dealing with an injury, maybe it was the high altitude, but even on his walkout, I was like, wow, he looks a little weird. He looks just too loose. Like he looked like he was too confident in himself. He walked in like this is too easy, and he's skipping, and it's just like no, no, no. So I was worried from the very beginning when they walked out to the end, and I think that was a pretty clear fight. By the way, for anyone who thinks it might have gone to Moreno instead of Royval, you're crazy. You're crazy. But I think that would be a sick fight. I think Moreno probably wins. Amir's interesting. He's well rounded. I just feel like Moreno has so much experience. And I think one thing that I didn't consider coming into this fight was that the experience that Royval has had in these 5 round fights and these fights that mean a lot really meant he was able to just push it. And that and him training at even higher elevation than Mexico City. Please, please, UFC, stop hosting these events at high elevation. Denver, Mexico City, ban them. No more. No more. I'm tired of everyone getting tired, and then we just get terrible fights. It happens every single time. Look at Paulo Costa versus Luke Rockhold. That was terrible. Paulo Costa looked terrible after like 3 minutes in there. Like he warmed up in the back and was gassed. You know, it's just not cool. People don't feel the same. So sorry, mini rant. But next is Brandon Royval versus the based king himself, Manel Cap. Now, I like this fight a lot from Manel Cap. It gets him because here's the thing. I'm tired of flyweights getting infinite title rematches. It's very frustrating. Whether it was Brandon Moreno or Davison Figueiredo coming off losses, I never wanted them to just run it back, run it back. Brandon Moreno gets infinite title shots. You know, that wasn't cool. And it still isn't. He beat Kai Kara France and immediately got a title shot. I get flyweight is meh, but I'm tired of the infinite title shots. Let Pantoja fight someone. I mean, I don't even know. I'm not looking at the rankings. I'm not worried about that fight. We're worried about this fight. So, Brandon Royval, Manel Cap, this fight would be sick. Manel Cap would say some crazy stuff. This would be like Connor and Nate Diaz, bro. Tell me it wouldn't be. Royval would be out there saying, I'm a gangster and all that. This would be hilarious. Manel Cap would just be like, sit down, sit down. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? No, this would be hilarious. Yeah, these are the fights to make next after UFC Mexico. drop a like, and subscribe. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day.